Welcome back. We are in our second segment of the morning, and this conversation is all about Jazz Fest 2023. If you don't know, now you know. It's the 10th Jazz Festival taking place here in Belize, and we have three of the organizers here to talk about it, what we can expect, and of course why you should be excited. We are joined by Karen Vernon, no stranger to Channel 5, and of course she's a coordinator for the Jazz Festival 2023. Also Carlos Perote, and he is the musical director of the festival, and Elsewert Castillo, a percussionist and member of the Belize International Jazz Festival. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
All right, well, let's get the conversation started about Jazz Fest. It's the 10th Jazz Festival held here in Belize. Let's talk about the first one, why we even decided to have Jazz Fest in the first place.
Well, Jazz Festival, that name jazz, right? Right now in the whole world, no, it's really a jazz festival. Sometimes people think about jazz is swing, play swing. But no, it's about that. It's a collaboration of fusions and different type of music that are influenced by the jazz.
Okay.
Remember, in the music history, we only have two genres only:
Okay.
classical music and folklore music, traditional music. All the rest of the stuff is styles that came from those two things.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
But you have to know about that. So you will know
I know now.
why the rest of the stuff come true.
Yeah.
All those people sometimes say classical music boring, traditional music are very repetitive, but things are the root of those stuff what we have.
The New Age music is influenced by the two core, the folklore and classical.
Europeans and Africans. It's the truth of things, right? So jazz is one of those style of music that are created from those original genre, right? So why we want to do jazz? I say jazz in a bracket. Because like sport, you like basketball and maybe you like volleyball. You are jazz and the next one like soccer, right? You choose. So we want to put jazz to the people to then choose to be educated concerning that music. This concert is about jazz. It's a fusion of classical music, pan, steel drum and the jazz and the classical music, or traditional styles of music like parranda, garifuna, brogdon. All of those things will happen that day. We have several inviting guests that will come to the festival. I think so elsewhere will talk about that. But that is the most important thing.
So
education.
what I like when the time Mr. Carlos comes on the show, there's always an educational
Yes.
aspect.
Exactly.
I always learn something about music whenever I have a conversation.
I believe in that. That's the only way we will come out from this mediocre stuff.
Right.
When we ourselves educate about any
So
kind of stuff.
what is your role as musical director on the show?
Make sure the music is in point,
Right.
that the artists from outside not try to fool us because we are talented too. And thanks God the people that will come to this festival are friends of us. They understand the struggles and the way we want to do our stuff, right, in Belize, and how we want to educate, so then willing to do. This year we will bring one of the most prolific and important pan players at the world. No, I not talk about Belize, ni Trinidad, whole world. It's Liam Tick. He's a friend of us. He's a professor in the University of Illinois. And also we will bring a group from Ija, nice, from Mexico. We will bring some other people. But the most important thing that is about, we want to build in Belize all right? Opportunity that a company from Trinidad that make pan, steel drums, will come to Belize, and we will hope with them to provide pans to Belize and to Central America. So we will be like the port of
Yeah,
entry
the
of all of those pans, and we will distribute.
Oh, okay.
So we are in communication with this company, and also we will engage some communication with the government and see how it's possible we can benefit, because we will benefit. So this is about the concept. It's about more. It's both. No, it's only about the music. It's about the business aspect. It's about the education and all of those things.
For those who may not know of, who have never attended a jazz concert, what's the atmosphere like in a concert like this, or an atmosphere that people can expect? I think about sitting back, relaxing, pouring a glass of wine, and having that type of.
You see, this is the idea of jazz.
So we'll throw that question over to Miss Karen Vernon, which you are no stranger to planning events like these. So let's talk about the details of it, what we can expect, and just as Paul asked, the atmosphere that you can expect at Jazz Fest 2020.
Okay, so let me do this setting that will be there on the 25th at the Bliss. When people enter, Pantempers will be outside playing some music, like a half hour before the show. So that will be the entrance. And the show itself won't be just an hour show or whatever. It will be a full-length 3-hour show. And our intermission will be for half hour, where we will have a band playing upstairs, and we will have wine for sale, wine and cheese and crackers and all that stuff. So, you know, like we're setting an atmosphere of a festival, but condensed in a one-night event. So, you know, it will be a great event.
So,
Excellent.
so it's 3 hours. It's a 3 hours.
It will be
show.
more than 3 hours, because we are scheduled to start 7:30.
Okay.
So the Pantempers will be outside playing for an a half hour before the show. So, you know, the audience can come and enjoy that before they enter the theater. And then the first half of the show is an hour and a half. And then we have a half-hour intermission where we'll also have music. Loreto Pelayo has a trio, and they will be playing. And then we go into the second half of the show, which is also an hour and a half.
Because I know you can't take food and drinks inside. So where that takes place on the side during the intermission.
That takes place upstairs. Yeah.
Okay, so that takes place. That takes place upstairs. That's interesting, though, Sabrina. I love that this is happening and that it is so well organized. Let's talk about, Ms. Karen, why Belizeans should come out and why we're inviting people to come out and to not only support but to have this experience.
Apart from the fact that it's amazing music.
Yeah.
Support, of course, you know, you said support, and that word is critical. Support our Belizean artists. It's not just the like Liam Teague, who is the pan player that Carlos spoke about earlier, but Carlos' students from SJCJC program, you know, they have an ensemble and they will be playing. We have the Palote Strings, which will be playing, Loreto Pelayo Trio, and then we have like solo artists who will be making guest appearances, and Elsworth can talk to that a bit later. But it's a fusion of jazz, classical, you know, all different types of music. Lord Rayburn will be doing a song for us.
Very nice.
So I mean, you know, it's a whole fusion of music that.
Let's bring in Elsworth in the conversation. You are a percussionist, and you're also a part of the execution of the Jazz Festival as well.
Yes. So I am involved with the initiative, wearing several hats. Actually, I'm looking at the video and I'm wearing the same hat. But I do wear several hats, and I am a percussionist. I'm a drummer with the Omolewa Osain project, who is a part of the performers at the Jazz Festival. I'm also involved with the audio and technical aspect of the, you know, because while speaking about all the artists and all the performers, of course, one of the most important things is the audio projection, and so that the audience, what we believe in is that the audience need to have an experience, you know, with the sound and with the. But I'm looking at who we're going to be featuring. Is that yes, as Karen and Carlos spoke, we have some international performers, but we are very involved with having our Belizean homegrown performers involved.
Yeah.
And a very important aspect of it is to have the young, and we're into development. You know, Carlos spoke about the educational part of it, and which ties in with developing young artists and performers, and you know, to become jazz musicians.
And to network with other established artists already.
For sure, because again, we spoke of our friends Ia Jazz Funk from Mexico. They came twice already, you know, and we had some smaller events with them. And so they're very excited to come back to Belize, and we have networked with them. And again, Liam Teague is a very, very dear friend of ours. And he's also excited to come in, and, you know, we're arranging music that we can perform together. And it's going to be, as Carlos mentioned, jazz. What we do, it encompasses all the different types of music that we do here in Belize. You're going to hear paranda, you're going to hear punta, you're going to hear brokdong, you're going to hear all of that stuff,
It's
you
a
know,
fusion.
with some jazz elements involved.
I know.
So,
I know.
yeah.
They spoke about Lord Raven performing. So there's vocals incorporated into
Oh
the show
yeah,
as
for
well.
sure. And I was just going to get to that, because we do have, while we talk about instrumentalists, yes, we do have vocalists involved as well. We have Shania Garnett.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go.
We have in line Chanel Parks.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, we do have some vocalists involved. Lord Raven, of course.
Yeah.
That's like a big thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's a living legend.
Yeah.
And so yes, jazz and what we do and what we are trying to bring, even though it's our 10th anniversary, it's still for us, it's still a work in progress. And we're trying to push this whole thing so that our people can understand and appreciate what we're trying to do here.
I'm interested in hearing a bit more about the fusions, only because I'm looking at the video that we're showing,
Yes.
and I'm seeing the percussions, I'm seeing well, the drums, I'm
Yes.
seeing the bass, I'm seeing pan, I'm seeing the shaka.
Yeah.
So it's instruments that ordinarily we see played separately,
Right.
but are being brought together to create this musical fusion. I
Yeah.
could see myself with a glass of wine and some cheese listening
And
to
some
this,
cheese.
Sabrina.
and it's going to be so tempting. You want to get up and dance and probably
Yeah.
spill your wine, and, you know,
Yeah.
because it's so amazing that you can arrange music. And what Carlos mentioned earlier is that people think of jazz as just swing,
Yeah. Yeah.
but jazz can be fun. Jazz can be
Yeah.
dance too. And
We see it as elevator music.
yeah, and it's,
And it's definitely
far
much
from the
more.
so far from the truth,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
We also have like Chris Bradshaw, who will
We-
be
right,
doing,
yeah, part of the
Alex
instrumentalist,
Evans.
Chris
They'll be-
Bradshaw, Alex
yeah,
Evans,
they'll be
yeah.
along.
Excellent. All right. Well, when is Jazz Fest, and how can we purchase tickets?
So Jazz Fest is Friday, August 25th at the Bliss at 7:30 p.m. You could get tickets from any one of the artists or at the Bliss. Tickets are $25.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah,
Only
exactly.
$25
Only
Only
$25
all
for
of
All
all
of that, yeah.
Wow.
Man.
So come
For
on
a
out and
3-hour
support, yeah.
experience, you can't get any
Exactly,
better than that.
and my favorite part of Jazz Fest is the when everybody gets together and play.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's
The-
so
the jam
jam
sessions,
session,
jam session.
session.
Okay.
We'll definitely have a jam session, and that's, you know, like starting out with, well, a couple artists, and then artists just join in and they just play. I mean, like it's
Is this like a
amazing.
freestyle?
Yes.
It's
Oh, yeah.
freestyle?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that will end off the night,
Yeah.
you know, and of course we'll have more wine to sell, and
Yeah.
so we'll be there for a while.
I love it.
I love that.
Exactly.
I love it.
That's
I
amazing.
No,
I
jam
definitely
sessions are my
plan on
favorite.
purchasing
Yeah.
a ticket.
Looking forward to seeing you guys.
Yes.
Of course.
Looking forward
What
to
I
seeing you
really love is that it seems like every month we're finding activities, recreational activities for families to take part in. You were just here yesterday talking about Frankie Renault
Yes.
and the Electric 80s, and now we're looking at Jazz Fest directly after.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You know, there's something for everyone as it relates to sports, to arts, and this is what we want. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All
You have anything else you'd like to
Any
I
add?
just like
sponsors?
to exactly
Yes.
the Financial Services Commission, and they're our main sponsors. Niche, of course, Ambassador Lin Young, BEL, and Travelers. So
All right.
we like to thank our sponsors, definitely.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We definitely
Thanks for
are
having
looking
us.
forward to Jazz Fest 23. It sounds like it's going to be exciting, Paul.
Yeah.
3 hours of fun and enjoyment. You're able to take your families with you and
yeah.
have a really good time.
For sure. For
Come
sure.
enjoy with us.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, it's all about getting tips to go back to school. Don't go away.